Blaney's rejoining there, they're all three wide. Neil's trying to get involved and Blaney hits them both off. Blaney goes back on the track, hits both cars. It's the right on the back of Bradders into the hairpin on the inside. Bradders outbreaks his own, they both pass, just hard to say. Stevie passes them all straight through. Oh, Callum's lost it! Callum's lost it! What a recovery! He uses the wall, but what a recovery there from Callum. Let's have a look at Steve. Now Stevie holds his own around the outside. And no way Jose, but then gets a slow run out of the corner. Bids us right up on the outside of him again. This is brilliant. LPB WTCR Championship Round 3 Race 1 from Sonoma Raceway GP. Hi everyone and welcome back to LPB Racing for the third round of our WTCR Championship on Project Cars 2. We come to you from Sonoma Raceway, formerly known as Infineon Raceway and formerly known as Sears Point. So plenty of names for this track over the years, and we're at this track, and as you can see we've got quite a grid for you. So let's get you through this grid now. So onto our trusty drone and looking down at the grid. So it's Neil Farmack on pole position, as you'll know, in the Mercedes. Then it is TY alongside in the BMW. Then it's Bidster in third. Then fourth, we've got a new person, Twerdy Zolis. We'll call him Twerdy. So Twerdy in fourth. These guys have just passed their assessment, by the way. So George in fifth. We know George. Bradders in sixth. Stevie seventh. Will in eighth. Intrepidi in ninth from last week, and then we've got Hovno, one of the new guys as well. He's got a really complicated name there, so I'll just call him Hovno in this one. He's in 10th, he's just passed his assessment as well, along with Sy Racing, or SY Racing, probably call him SY. So SY in 11th, and it's Blakeney in 12th, Pash 13th, and Fidel returns at the back in 14th place. So 14 out of a possible 16 runners in this one. This is going to be good. Now, unfortunately, we've got quite a close camera angle in for the first one, because I can't find another camera that works. So off we go. TY and Bids to get fantastic starts, obviously in the BMW. There goes Twerdy into third as well. Neil there in fourth, and everyone else piling into the uphill start. And now Bradders is on the gravel, and is it the sign? Is it Twerdy? Then big accident already. And everyone else goes through. I think Stevie was slightly involved in that. Hovno as well. Hovno's going down the track to turn round. We've got George off as well, and it's all happened there as the leaders come over the top. Then we've got Sy Racing there, we've got Will and Blakeney alongside each other as well. Sy and Stevie into the bottom, and Stevie trying to get down the inside of SY Racing. So SY holding his ground on Stevie. As Neil Farmack trying to put some pressure on the new guy Twerdy with Intrepidi, the other new guy behind him. As we go down to the double right-hander, off the drag strip and onto the double right-hander. Bidster in the lead then from TY. Then it's Twerdy, the new guy, in third place. Then it's Neil Farmack in fourth, Intrepidi, Pash. And then we've got Sy Racing. And then we've got Stevie on two wheels with Will, Fidel and Blakeney behind. George in 12th, Bradders 13th, and Hovno back in 14th after being caught up in the start. So not the best start of Hovno. Sorry guys, that was just me pressing the wrong button. I do apologise, as the car had wound itself back there like it was on a bungee cord. But here we go, into the fast right-hander. Bids to go through, so does TY. Oh, Twerdy's off on the gravel. He's rejoining. Neil Farmack will go up the inside here. Neil Farmack down the inside. Oh, there's contact, and Twerdy's in the wall. And Pash hits him. Oh, right up in the air they go. And here comes the others. Twerdy's got to stay out of the way now as all the rest of the cars come through. Pash is in the wall as well. Just looking round, there's Twerdy. George goes through. Has Pash recovered yet? No, he's still there on the inside. He's just got going now. Twerdy's still there because he's got good awareness. He's staying there to not get in the way of anyone, but he gets knocked down, and we'll get some replays on that later on at the half distance point. So yes, Neil Farmack looking like it might have been caused by him, but we'll have to see. We can't say that until we've actually seen the evidence. So Neil Farmack is in fourth, and all the way back down to the back of the grid goes Twerdy in 14th place. Pash is now in 11th, so it's all happening there. Let's have a look at some other battles on track. We've got Will and Stevie and Will. I think Will's just trying to keep Stevie off. He's got a bit of a train behind him now as Will, and he's got Stevie, Blakeney, Fidel and George approaching the back of him as well. Into the long left-hander down the bottom. Will defends the inside, but the front wheel drive will try and get him back. And again, we've got hot temperatures here at Sonoma Raceway. Even though it's in the morning, we've got hot temperatures as Stevie goes through. and Will now getting passed by Blakeney and probably by Fidel if he can brake late as well. Blakeney on the inside of Will and goes through. Will slots into 8th place, and he's got BMW sandwich now. Oh, he loses the back end and he's gone round. Will loses the back end and goes round. He's not getting on with Project Cars very well, Will, unfortunately. He's having a torrid time with this game and he's just waiting to turn round there. So unlucky for him. Bidster, meanwhile, in the lead by 1.5 seconds. Out of the hairpin we go, sliding his way out. There goes TY in hot pursuit. Intrepidi in a solid 3rd position in the Renault Megane. And Neil Farmack in 4th. Now remember guys, this will be the last time these guys run these cars this season before we swap, so the new guys will have chosen whichever car they probably hate the most and then get that out of the way and use the cars that they like for the rest of the season. So whichever one you think belongs in the scrapyard, use this time, and then sell it for a bit of profit, and then off you go, buy a new one, and well, not buy a new one, use a new one, and into the next one we go. So George then on in 8th place, trying to catch Blake in the BMWs. Blake's in a bit of a Monster Energy Renault sandwich at the minute. All the drinks are available as Fidel catches up to the back of them as well over the curbs. Nicely over the curbs we go there. Nice lines from everyone. Everyone's starting to spread out a bit now. Will's at the back of the grid with Hovno in 13th. As this is the closest pack on the grid so far. We've got a bit of a train forming behind Stevie, Blake and George. Go down the hill. George catches up in the front wheel drive, but again we've got to watch the heat in the front in those front tyres. Blake might be able to come good in the next couple of laps, especially if Stevie runs it up wide like he does there, and he could possibly get a slowdown penalty. So we don't want any of that because that'll ruin the race really if that happens. Oh, Stevie's run wide. He's ruining his own race at the minute. He's run wide, and Blakeney can sniff an opportunity, and so can George. But Blakeney gets a good run out the corner with the rear drive, and they're closing up on Cy Racing. So Cy Racing being closed up in 5th. He's not doing bad so far, Cy. He's pretty well. So we've got the new guy, Shane, in the Renault. He's Intrepidi. And we've got Cy, who's Sean, in the 5th place. We might as well get used to the real names as well, guys, because we'll probably end up using them on the points at some point. So might as well get used to the names. So we've got Bidster in the lead. TY second, 2 seconds back. Another 2 seconds back is Intrepidi, followed by Neil Farmack, who's actually closing him down. So Neil Farmack in the Merc, finding a track that's good for the Merc. Some good tight corners on it. So hopefully we might see Pash close up as Cy then goes through. Stevie with Blakeney on his tail. And oh, George has gone back down to 11th. George has got damage. He's gone off somewhere. So again, in the montage of replays, we'll get him in as well. But George goes right back down. And also, look, Twerdy's up to 10th place from 13th. So pretty good going by Twerdy there. Twerdy Zoli, well done to him. He's in 10th place with a rather oddly aerodynamically hindered BMW, and yes, that one's definitely seen better days cosmetically. So well, as long as they say, as long as the roll cage works, get it out there. But yeah, that's looking more like a 1 Series with how much it's had done to it. As George closes right up on the back of him, but no way through is found. As Brad is then with Hovno coming up behind him. So Hovno not doing bad for his first race. I was a bit sceptical about what he was going to be like because he just scraped through his assessment, but I've got to admit he's doing a very good job in 13th place. As we go through, Cy there in 5th, being closed down by Stevie, one of the championship regulars. Everyone knows Stevie by now, and we know how ruthless he is. If you've watched the other races on LPB Racing on the Bidster channel, you'll know that Stevie is a force to be reckoned with. When he's attacking, and he's going to make sure these new guys get put in their place. As he breaks down into the hairpin. Into the hairpin we go, don't go too near the inside. Gets a good run out the corner. This could be the run that he needs. Gets the run on Cy Racing now. How well will Cy defend? He goes to the right. Stevie gets the inside for the next bit, but can Cy hold on around the outside? We'll soon find out now. Stevie goes through. Cy thinks the better of it. He's just, it's my first race here. Let's just make sure I bring it to the end and see how everyone behaves when they're driving. So he goes through there in that place, and then now we've got Twerdy with George still on the back of him. George still trying to attack Twerdy in 10th place. It's brilliant having 14 cars in this race. There's just so much more action to watch. It's brilliant. As we look at Cy and Blake all over the back of Cy now into towards the next few corners. Let's look at how George and Twerdy went on, and George is through on Twerdy. George goes through on into 10th. And he goes wide though onto the gravel and hits the foam marker board and sends it flying in the air for the marshals to catch. And George goes through there. Now, let's just get some replays into that first half of the race action for you now. Here's the replays from the first half of the race. Here's the replay of the first corner incident then on board with George. So we're going up to the first corner. Watch Bradders on the right. He goes off the track. He's on the gravel. Then he comes back on. And then bang, hits us, and he's hit Hovno already. And then Stevie gets held up as well. And then they ought to rejoin. Bradders spins the car around. George gets going, and Hovno turns around as well. But a bit of a messy first corner. And now here's the view from on board with Hovno's BMW. So see Bradders there, runs wide, and he hits the sign. Then just no grip. Hits us both as he comes back on. He tried to stop the car, but he didn't have any grip at all. Then they both try and turn the car back round, and they both resume. Okay, here's a replay of the Twerdy and Neil incident on board with Intrepidi. So we're going through the long right-hander. Twerdy goes off onto the gravel. Neil takes advantage, but look, he closes him down and goes for his racing line. Thinks he's passed him, but he's not. Then hits him into the wall. Neil goes sideways himself, and Intrepidi cannot avoid him. But yeah, Neil gave Twerdy the squeeze there and put him into the wall when he had all that room on the right. Here's a second look at on board with Pash. So we're going down to the same incident, and then Twerdy goes off there with Neil squeezing him, and we've got nowhere to go. Bang! We hit him solid, and Twerdy goes right up in the air, and now Twerdy is in the middle of the track, and he's got to wait while everyone else passes him. But George goes through, and he's got a bit of a gap there, but he chooses to wait because he's got another car coming down. So sensible rejoining there by Twerdy, good awareness, but just very unlucky. Here's a quick replay of what happens to George on lap 3 then, to go down to 11. So he catches the gravel and the curb, and the rear end just has no grip. Round it goes, nothing the front wheel drive can do to save him there. And now he's got to wait for a gap in the traffic. He drives the wrong way down the track, and then sort of, well, he's trying to turn around, but front wheel drive, George, remember, it's just going to understeer on you. But yeah, I suppose that is a safe rejoin, and then yeah, rejoins in 11th with Twerdy past him on the left. And now back to the racing action. So we come back from that Bidster in the lead of the race then, and 5 seconds ahead of TY in the next position down. TY, and then we've got Intrepidi there with Neil Farmack still trying to close him down, but he's not closing him down fast enough yet. Intrepidi's holding on to his own. Cyan Blake is still close in this one as well. Cyan Blake still with not much of a gap between them. If they go through down towards the hairpin at the bottom, Blake might have a look down here. I don't think he's going to be able to though. As side breaks into the corner, Blake can't close up too much, and out of the corner we go. Twerdy with George behind him as well. Bradders trying to close up on the both of them, so I think the main battle on track at the minute is between Cy and Blake. 4/10 is the gap. As they go up the hill towards the first corner. Through up the first corner, Blake is right on the back of the Mercedes now. The BMW pressuring the Mercedes round the corners. We go into the uphill section. This is where the front wheel drive should have a bit more advantage over the top, but Blakeney's shoving that into being false news, because Blakeney is still with him. As Cy runs wide, this could be Blakeney's chance, but no, Blakeney's not close enough yet to get the move done. So not close enough yet. As we go to the bottom of the hill, Blake will get the power on, but again, Cy pulls out a decent gap on him. Good job by Cy. Oh, it's Twerdy's off. Twerdy's off. And not sure if there was contact, but again, that'll be in the montage of replays later on, hopefully. So Twerdy goes off and back down to 13, so he's having a bit of a love-hate relationship in his first race with that car. So probably that's why he's getting it out of the way now, because it's not the best car for him. So TY's gone from second. Just noticed TY has gone from second place. So TY spins, and again, we'll get a look at that later on, but he's back down to 4th. 12 seconds off Bidster now. As we look to the, so Bidster then 9 seconds or 8 seconds, call it, ahead of Neil Farmack into the first corner, sliding the BMW out the first corner. Neil Farmack second now, Intrepidi onto the podium in 3rd, TY back down to 4th from some strange reason. Stevie in 5th, Blakeney is 6th ahead of Cy now, so Blakeney's past Cy as well. So change position there. Also further down the order, Pash is across the line, and he's closing on Cy and Blake, who's trying to anyway. Fidel is in 9th, George in 10th, then we've got Hovno in 11th, Bradders in 12th, Twerdy in 13th, and Will is back in 14th, not having the best race whatsoever is Will. So he's just got to try and soldier on to the end if he can. Cy and Blake still quite close together, not too much in it as they go down the hill. And they've got Pash closing them down as well. Pash closing them down here. That could make all the difference. We go down the hill. Just so guys are just watching how the cars behave through there. Just having a look, see if I can spot anything different. But now Blakeney closes up slightly out the corner and into the hairpin side. Feeling now's the time to defend. Just making sure he defends the inside line but goes wide. Blakeney gets down the inside, sticks his nose where it's not wanted and spins himself out. Cy does actually come across on him a bit there. We'll have to see in a replay of that later on. But Blakeney spins and he's down to 8th place. So Blakeney, can't blame him for going for the gap. But I think Cy did close him down a bit there. And yeah, Blake down to 8th position. He'll be he'll feel like he's had his feathers ruffled there, and he'll not be happy about that. But we'll have to see how things go later on. See if he can claw his way back up to the position. So meanwhile, Cy now is in 6th, and obviously Pash now up to 7th after Blakeney's spin, and now it's Pash closing on the independent Mercedes. We go through across the line, lap 8 of 9, penultimate lap of the race. And also we've got a little battle up front because Intrepidi's closed right up to the back of Neil Farmack now. Neil Farmack is being pressured by Intrepidi here, and the battle is on this penultimate lap. So that'll be something to watch later on in the race as well. As we've got Cy Racing and Pash. So Cy and Pash close together. Down the hill. Cy goes wide. Pash tries to get them down the inside but he hasn't quite got the run he needs. As we go down to the next corner. Long left-hander downhill. Left front will overheat like crazy on these front-wheel drive cars as we go down the dip. And get the power on. Cy goes a bit wide. He might have to lift out the corner a little bit, but no, I think he gets away with it. He's okay. So all surviving so far. Meanwhile, Intrepidi again right back on the back of Neil. Mercedes versus Renault. You'd think the Renault would have the advantage around here, but I think the Mercedes has got some good opportunity to use its agility. As Will goes off, he's hit Intrepidi. Will off on the gravel, and Intrepidi runs wide himself and then gets tagged by Will. That is a race changer as TY hits him as well. So Will there needs to get going as Intrepidi then spins the car back round. Watch for the others coming round. Here comes Cy and Pash as all the other cars get going, but Will causing carnage there. So I think it wasn't really his fault because he was off the track anyway and he was trying to rejoin, but could have done it a bit more safely, I suppose. But then again, you can say that about every incident as it all gets very cluttered into there. Will needs to slow down and let these leaders go through. So Will getting in the way there and not really doing a good job of the blue flags, but he lets the cars through eventually as Pash goes through with Cy then now down to 7th, and Intrepidi goes from the battle for 2nd down to 5th. So all change here on this last lap, but the man in front, Bidster, he has been untouched in this race so far. Just pulled away and took the lead and never looked back. Bidster is in the lead with Neil Farmack 10 seconds behind in 2nd place, Stevie 3rd, TY in 4th, and then Intrepidi with a hungry Pash behind him looking for more positions. Intrepidi still probably spitting blood after all that incident earlier because he was looking good to try and battle Neil for 2nd place, but that is now not going to happen. He's now got to try and salvage what he can from this race, and it looks like 5th place might be the best option he's got. But Pash has got other ideas when it comes to that. He's going to try and do what he can. But meanwhile, up front, Bidster is coming to the last corner in the BMW, and out of the last corner goes Bidster, and he's about to cross the line to take victory in this first race. 14 cars, here's the winner. Bidster wins the race. Well done to Bidster, another win this season to add to the collection. Bidster extending his championship lead there, with Neil Farmack coming across the line in 2nd. So 2nd place for Neil Farmack here, and a good points haul for the Mercedes team as well. Stevie's going to be 3rd in the monster car. Well done to Stevie, he finishes 3rd in this race. TY is at the last corner now, and Intrepidi runs wide and Pash sticks his nose up the inside on the last corner. Drag race to the line, the McGann should have it, but TY finishes 4th. Intrepidi is going to be in 5th with Pash behind in 6th. Cy Racing in 7th, not a bad debut, but you could have hoped for better in that one. Blakeney in 8th across the line. George is just going to hold. George has got past Will, so Will will finish in 14th. George in 9th. Will 14th. Fidel is going to be in 10th. Good, not too bad for Fidel. Brad is running wide at the last corner. Don't want to do that. But Bradders is going to be home for a safe 11th place. Not too bad out of 14 cars. So Bradders across the line in 11th. Hovno is the next one to approach the line. Again, a bit of a topsy-turvy race for him. But Hovno in his first race takes 12th place. And remember, points go down to 15. So if we do get 16 cars, we will have one person who doesn't score. Twirdy is going to be in 13th. He'll just have to pause before he crosses the line because Will got lapped. So guys, we'll just get those second half of the race replays in for you first. Here's the replays from the second half. Okay, here's the replay on lap 6 of what happened to TY then, because he went from 2nd to 4th and he goes over the top and just loses the back end of the car on the left-hander and he's off onto the gravel, and now Intrepidi goes through and Neil Farmack and they have to rejoin behind them both. And now here's the replay of what happened to Twirdy, and it's deja vu if you've just seen what happened to TY, because Twirdy does exactly the same thing, too much inside curb, but this time she goes off towards the wall a bit more than TY does. So reverses in the gravel, keeps it in the gravel so it doesn't affect the other cars, and rejoins back down all the way in 14th. Okay, here's a replay on lap 7 of the Blakeney and Sy incident. So Sy goes wide in the Mercedes, and then Blake goes to the inside, but Sy just cuts across while he's there and spins Blakeney round. So that could be a penalty for Sy for not having good awareness. Okay, here's a replay of what happened between Intrepidi and Will then. So Will is on the gravel there, he's been about to be lapped, he put the power down too much, spins the back end round, and Intrepedi's at the wrong place at the wrong time, spins back round. Will shouldn't have really been trying to do that, and then he just comes back across on the track and TY hits him. So I don't know what Will's playing at here, but he's in the way of everyone. Now he's in the middle of the track holding everyone up. And then Intrepidi has to reverse onto the racing line, but he has got room there, so he does make sure he's got room. Then they all get going, and Sy and Patch come up, thinking what the hell have these guys been up to? Okay, now let's have a look at how that all started. So on board with Will, so you see he catches the curb here on the inside, drives the curb too much and then hits the tyre wall and then spins back towards the track and he's trying to get the car righted, but then he's on the gravel and then he puts full power down here, and then that spins the car into Intrepidi. Why he's got full power down on the gravel, I do not know. He should not do that. Then all of a sudden he comes back on the track as TY comes round, and then TY hits him, and now he's just broadside blocking the whole track. He needs to get going, and then Intrepidi reverses, TY and they all get going eventually, but Will in the way of a lot of cars there. And then we go down to the next corner and we'll see Pash and the others start to close up as well. Then you see Patch and Intrepidi getting all involved with each other. Will's trying to stay out of the way, but he's I don't know what he's doing, he's just getting everyone's way still. He needs to slow down and let them go through, because now he's holding up Sy as well, but then he eventually lets them all go, but that was messy by Will. And as we come back from that, we will now go to the results. Okay guys, here's the results after that one then. So it is Bidster who wins the race. Well done to Bidster, with Neil Farmack in second place. It's Stevie in third, and then it's TY in fourth place, with Pash in fifth. Intrepid in sixth, with Sy Racing in seventh. We go over the page. Blake in eighth, George in ninth, and then it's Fidel in 10th. Bradders in 11th. Hovno in 12th. 13th for Twirdy, and 14th is Will. And after we come back from the results, there is your winner, Bidster in the blue BMW there. Well done to Bidster, good points haul for him, and he extends his championship lead. So we will see you guys next time for race 2, which will be around here again, Sonoma Raceway. So don't forget to tune in for that one, guys. It should be just as entertaining as this one, and we'll see you for that one. Take care, guys. Thank you for watching another race by LPB Racing. What a race that was. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments down below. And next time it's going to be round 3, race 2 from Sonoma Raceway again.